Space Geopolitics, from the Cold War to the post-Cold War era.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Welcome, everyone. Humanity once looked to the stars with wonder, yet even in the night sky, our rivalries leave their mark. Could space, our shared frontier, also become our next arena of power? From the Cold War space race to Russia's 2021 destruction of its defunct satellite, Cosmos 1408, outer space has never truly been free from geopolitics. Today, satellites guide our communications, banking, navigation, and defense, making space security a matter of global stability. As technology, competition, and cooperation intertwine, understanding space geopolitics means understanding how nations define power and responsibility beyond Earth itself. Before we can grasp today's challenges in orbit, we need to return to where it all began, when the race for space wasn't about GPS or internet satellites, but about prestige, influence, and survival. So let's begin. Chapter 1: The Cold War and the Space Race. The story begins in 1957, when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. Its steady beeps from orbit sent shockwaves through the United States, sparking not only a scientific race, but a profound strategic contest. For Washington, the answer was Apollo, a bold program culminating in the moon landing of 1969. This achievement symbolized more than human ingenuity. It demonstrated technological dominance and political prestige. Yet, beneath the celebrations lurked a strategic truth. Whoever mastered space could hold a decisive advantage on Earth. This competition took a new turn in 1983 when President Ronald Reagan unveiled the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, quickly nicknamed Star Wars. The idea was to build futuristic defenses, space-based lasers and interceptors that could intercept nuclear missiles. While critics doubted its feasibility, SDI heightened Soviet concerns and intensified the arms race. It showed that space was not only about exploration, it could also play a role in strategic defense and influence. 4 decades later, the lingering effects of that competition are still evident. In 2021, Russia, as the successor of the Soviet Union, carried out a test that reminded the world just how easily the cosmos can be drawn back into rivalry. Chapter 2: Russia's 2021 Satellite Destruction. In November 2021, Russia tested a missile that destroyed one of its old satellites, Cosmos 1408. The test created more than 1,500 pieces of trackable debris and countless smaller fragments. Some passed dangerously close to the International Space Station, forcing astronauts to shelter in emergency capsules. The reaction was swift. The United States called the test reckless. European governments echoed concern. Even beyond politics, there was a simple shared alarm. Space debris doesn't respect borders. It endangers every nation's satellites, every astronaut, every mission. Moscow, however, offered a different view. Russia argued that the satellite was obsolete and that the test was a demonstration of its defensive capabilities. Officials insisted the operation was safe, with the Defense Ministry stating that the fragments do not pose a threat to space activities. Russian diplomats also pointed out that the US, China, and India had all conducted similar anti-satellite tests, suggesting that Western criticism reflected double standards. At the same time, Russia reiterated its support for proposals to prevent an arms race in space, though these proposals have been met with skepticism in Washington and elsewhere. What makes this event so significant is that satellites today are not Cold War-era trophies of prestige. They are infrastructure. They carry our phone signals, guide aircraft and ships, power financial systems, forecast weather, and support military operations. Destroying a satellite is not just a demonstration of capability. It raises the prospect of renewed strategic competition in space. Chapter 3. The strategic importance of space today. During the Cold War, nuclear weapons defined deterrence. In today's world, satellites play a similar role. Without them, modern militaries lose navigation, surveillance, and missile detection. Civilian life would also grind to a halt. No GPS, no real-time communication, disrupted trade, and paralyzed financial systems. And unlike nuclear explosions, which are catastrophic but finite, space debris lingers. A single satellite breakup can leave fragments orbiting for decades, each one a potential hazard moving at thousands of kilometers per hour. In this sense, space is both fragile and unforgiving. Strategists often call space the ultimate high ground. To control it, or at least protect assets within it, is to gain extraordinary leverage in both security and economics. As history shows, whenever a high ground exists, on Earth or above it, rival powers will compete to control it. Space today is no exception. Chapter 4. Geopolitical tensions from Cold War to today. Russia's 2021 anti-satellite test was not an isolated act. The United States experimented with such weapons during the 1980s. China destroyed one of its own satellites in 2007, and India followed in 2019. Each test shared a common pattern: demonstrate capability, raise international concerns, and leave behind debris, both literal and political. During the Cold War, there were at least some guardrails. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty banned weapons of mass destruction in orbit. The Anti-Ballistic Missile, ABM, Treaty of 1972 placed limits on missile defense systems, though the U.S. withdrew in 2002 to pursue new technologies. The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty of 1987 eliminated an entire class of missiles, but collapsed in 2019 amid mutual accusations. Efforts like SALT II never fully materialized, while newer proposals such as the prevention of an arms race in outer space, PAROS, remain stalled at the United Nations. In short, space competition has raced ahead while space governance struggles to keep pace. The cosmos has entered a legal gray zone, subject to rivalry and in need of clear governance. And this brings us to the central dilemma. In a world where rivalries shape the heavens, can cooperation still prevail? Chapter 5, The Path Forward, Cooperation or Conflict. History, however, suggests that cooperation is possible. The Cold War produced not only dangerous escalations, but also breakthroughs in arms control. Rivals could, and did, sit down to set limits when the risks grew too large to ignore. Space today faces a similar crossroads. Will it be further militarized, with great powers racing to deploy weapons in space? Or can cooperation prevail, as seen in the International Space Station, where Russian, American, European, and Asian astronauts work side by side? New initiatives offer a glimpse of both paths. The Artemis Accords of 2020, established by NASA and the U.S., seek to guide lunar exploration with principles of transparency and cooperation. Meanwhile, the International Lunar Research Station, ILRS, announced by China and Russia in 2021, presents an alternative vision of space governance. These frameworks reflect geopolitical considerations, showing that even in the 21st century, space governance involves both political and scientific dimensions. The lesson is clear. The consequences of conflict in space will not be borne by one nation alone. They will affect all of humanity. Conclusion. As we look up at the night sky, we are reminded of both possibility and peril. Space can remain a realm of wonder, exploration, and shared progress, or it can reflect the rivalries of Earth. The Cold War showed us that security built on mistrust is fragile. Perhaps the stars remind us of something deeper. Lasting stability is achieved not through weaponization, but through recognizing our shared responsibility for space. The choice, as always, is ours. And thank you for watching.